to be at the top at both of those, essentially. Like it's
Dan, another farting Dan Orlovsky situation just took place.
Danny Dope.
You just farted into the
Danny Dope.
What do you mean? It's unbelievable.
No.
Your butt was just talking.
We heard it.
Your butt just farted into the phone again like you in Monday Night Football.
Oh, no.
That's what just happened.
What do you mean?
You remember Monday Night Football when you had your microphone and you went to sneeze and you bent down and it caught your fart?
Like, what do you?
No,
it's
not
Your
what
asshole
you said.
just farted.
Pooped your pants, Dad.
We heard your fart, brother.
We heard you fart.
We heard your fart, brother.
Yeah.
We heard your butt just fart in the middle of the cake.
I did not fart.
Dan. This is 2 times now, Dan. This is the Orlovsky thing.
Fool me once, Dan.
Are you guys being serious right now, or are you messing with me?
Dan.
We have the capabilities to play this
I would like to let the hockey...
What's up, good people? Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Jobu Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. I hope everybody's having a great Sunday. You know, we started doing this about 3 years ago because we literally weren't ready for the off season and dealing with all the crap that we had to, and it became the kind of Sunday get together because of course we miss football and bitching about the Cowboys. And it seems like every year it ends up being exactly the same because we are disappointed and we are trying to, you know, kind of console each other and stuff. And so before I get to the crowd here, let me say hello and shout out and welcome to DC Cowboys Proc as a new member, and Quincy Lacey, a Jobu superfan. Be sure to email me at cowboysmark94@gmail so that way we can get you guys your shot glass and your squeeze footballs and all that stuff. And shout out to everybody who's already in here. Thomas Garrett, how are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing all right. Just sitting here watching the women's national championship game and been doing some thinking. I wonder who's gonna be,
you're doing some thinking.
I wonder who's going to be the flavor of the week this week coming up.
What do you mean?
It was, yes, ma'am.
When I was in Mark's live, you need to put your glasses on so you can keep up.
Who, me?
I sent you 2 messages. I look at Mark. I was in Tennessee. I was in Pigeon
Tennessee. Okay.
Tennessee. And I was trying to tell you, I was asking you what part of Tennessee you live in. Never did see it.
Oh, you mean,
I'm in Nashville.
Memphis. Oh, Nashville. I'm sorry. Why did I say? No, that is, what is her name? Is in Memphis.
Dollywood.
Yeah, that's right. He's
No, you talking about, what's her name is in Memphis.
What is, oh my goodness.
Because her aunt was a cheerleader for the Cowboys.
Yes, but to see, oh my God, forgive me. I'm getting so old, man. I don't know if y'all realize it, but I am, I'm 58 years old. Unfortunately, I used to do something that is now illegal, and I think it's really messing my brains.
Really?
Yeah, I did what is now illegal. They realized that it's dangerous, and that is actually being a wedge buster on special teams.
Oh, that's right. You were the nose tap.
Well,
her last name is Stewart.
That's Casey Stewart.
Casey.
See, here's the thing. They've changed the rules on kickoffs because they realize how dangerous they are. Okay, so my job was I was the closest guy to the center, and literally you have to sprint 40 yards downfield, and they used to have what was called the wedge, which would be like 5 big guys are there, shoulder to shoulder running up the field. Your job is to bust the wedge. So you're running downfield as fast as you can, literally putting your head down and bam into that. And they realize people are getting hurt and having brain problems from this, and it's outlawed. It's been outlawed for quite a while. So forgive me when I make up something. If my brain just doesn't work and I forget and get brain fog and stuff, I think it's from all the concussions. But be that as it may, Stacy was wondering where you were. Stacy, how are you doing today?
Fine. How are you? I'm going to tell you. I need to give you my thoughts on what's going on and why it's going on. Okay. I've been thinking long and hard about this.
On the Cowboys or the world?
Oh, well, we'll start with the Cowboys.
Okay, that's a
Now,
bad
tell me
enough
what you
problem.
think.
Okay.
No, I know. So, I feel Jerry and Stephen, them being billionaires.
Mm-hmm.
I really feel this. I could be wrong.
Okay.
They never got over the fact. To me, it's a pride issue. They never got over losing that deal to Dak Prescott.
Oh, without a doubt.
And
Yeah.
And I feel that they are holding us hostage. And I feel that if they can, they may try to work out a deal with him. But they never, by them never being able to let go of the fact that he had them by the cojones. I mean, where the contract was just, all in his favor, and they just, they didn't have a choice. And I feel that's why that they are, the shenanigans that are currently going on.
Yeah.
Like I said, they may try to sign him, but they're also looking at, again, well, if we don't have him, then you can start over. But Mark, I'm like what you said. You had that opportunity.
Oh, they've had it year after year.
You didn't take it. And even if he gave them a hometown discount, those idiots probably aren't going to go out and get any talent.
Well, I have a story that relates to that. But before I do, we do have some interesting breaking news that just happened. Huntsville, the Huntsville, Texas native here, defensive tackle prospect, defensive tackle Vontae Sweat was arrested today ahead of the NFL draft, of course. Yeah. Drunk driving. Former Texas Longhorns defensive tackle Devondre Sweat was booked in Travis County Jail on Sunday, according to police records. The records indicate Sweat, 22, was arrested by Austin Police Department at 2:12 p.m., and he was charged with driving while intoxicated, a Class B misdemeanor. The Huntsville, Texas native had 45 tackles, 8 tackles for loss, 18 solo tackles, and 23. And he was the Outland Trophy winner and Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year for his efforts and played 5 seasons in Texas. So, you big dummy. The question is that worse than Randy Gregory getting busted smoking weed?
That's just
absolutely.
My thing
they
is,
say that Dak Prescott fell in the draft, they said, because of the drunk driving arrest that he had, which never ended up being, he ended up not, being found guilty of it or anything, but, who knows. So that, Sugar Daddy Williams says that changes the whole draft. Okay, now, truth in advertising, I am not the draft expert. I'm taking he's one of the top prospects. Thomas, I take it he's one of the top prospects?
Yeah, between one, I say between 1 and 3.
Oh, damn. Okay, so between 1 and 3, according to Thomas Garrett. So that's not good news. That's really not good news. So we'll have more on that when it comes.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. What I'm saying is he should be drafted between the first and third round of the draft.
That's stupid. Why are you drunk on a Saturday afternoon? I mean, Sunday afternoon.
My thing is, in 3 weeks you're going to become a millionaire. What?
Multi-millionaire.
You better by keeping your black ass in the house.
Where literally, if you fall from the first round to the second round, you're talking about, $10-15 million. You are a big dummy.
That's what I've always said. For people that drink, smoke weed, smoke crack, smoke meth, I don't care. Go get your stuff, take it home. Why do you all out there? 9 times out of 10, people get in trouble because they're in their vehicle with some alcohol or some drugs. Just get your stuff and go home. How easy is that? Jesus.
Not only that, if you're gonna be out, have your chaperone. You tell him, hey.
Right.
Man, you already know I'm going to become a millionaire in a couple of weeks, man.
This
put you on the payroll and take me anywhere I want to go. I don't care if it's church. I don't care if it's to the store.
There's no excuse
everywhere
for that
I need to go.
There is no excuse.
There's
No
not.
excuse.
I don't get that.
No
I
excuse at all.
Wow. So that definitely will shake up the draft. Okay, he was projected to be an early round pick in the coming weeks.
Oh.
Mark, was he someone that we were interested in?
Yes.
Well, apparently he'll be drafted well before we would.
Okay.
Right.
Who's this we're talking about?
Devontae Sweat.
Yeah, Devontae
The
Sweat.
big guy from Texas.
Oh, okay. The running back. Yeah.
No, the defensive lineman.
Defensive lineman.
Oh, the defensive
tackle.
Okay. I thought it was the running back.
Well, maybe he drops to the Cowboys.
Yeah.
It's possible. Anything's possible.
Although that's not the same as say a quarterback and stuff. It's like you're a defensive tackle, so it's not.
Oh, we'd love to get something like that, but I don't think anything good like that's going to fall to us.
No.
Well, I don't know if it's good or not after he's getting busted here for drunk driving. So yeah, that's kind of crazy. Stupidness, just like the wide receiver for Kansas City. He was driving the Lamborghini apparently and is cooperating with police, even though it took him like 5 days past the accident before he actually admitted it. It's like there is
he had under an ounce of weed on him.
Jeez.
Yeah, could you imagine? Now, here's what's funny. Could you imagine if he had been a Cowboys player?
Oh yeah.
How much
they'd be all over him.
They're not even talking about
boy.
that anymore. They've moved on from that one. That's like, oh well, it's not the Cowboys, so we're good. All right, so we are knee deep in the draft, draft, boards and all that. We've heard about some of the 30-day visits and things. In fact, I've got a video that I'll be doing up later with Game Time Brian. We're going through the visits that they've had and potential visits that may be out there. The Cowboys haven't listed all of their 30 visits. They're kind of keeping some of that a little bit secret, double secret probation. I don't know what's going on. I had forgive me, my cameras are acting funny today. The power pole behind us here, somebody ran into it and literally severed the bottom of the power pole. So
that's not good.
The power company came out there, had 3 bucket trucks, and they ended up sinking a new pole. But for some reason, this camera, ever since the power failure, has been going on and off for me, and it's Wi-Fi enabled. So I think it's something from let me turn it off for a few minutes and let it go. Okay, so any thoughts on what the Cowboys should do? It sounds like the Cowboys are bringing in heavy on running back. We all know they've brought in quite a few of the running backs. I think we've got 5 that have already been in for visits. Linebackers, it looks like they're bringing in a shitload of them, and offensive line. So at least we know that they are definitely looking at the positions of needs. Any thoughts of players that you would like to see the Cowboys pick in the draft that might be somebody that can be an immediate impact? From what I'm hearing, as far as I'll go through the list here. Running back wise, I think they have brought in Jonathan Brooks, Braylon Allen, I think Bucky Irvins, Trey Benson, and Jalen Wright. Any thoughts from any of the good people in the crowds here? Anybody that anybody likes? Crystal Caramel Corn, what's up? Gina Dallas Diva, Roland's Review. Shout out to the ladies. And I see we got Loretta is also joined us here today. What's happening, Loretta? How are you doing? You said you and your son were going to be joining us. Shout out to you.
Yes, we're here.
Yeah, how are you doing today?
Hey.
Good evening, Sal.
What's going on, Mark? Good to see you, man.
Yeah. I think you've got the volume up because we're getting a bit of an echo when you talk, Loretta. We're hearing an echo. And Julian, how are you doing today?
Good here. I'm barbecuing and joining you guys here at the same time.
Okay,
so
I'll be right over.
So will I.
Here it is right here.
Oh man, we got some chicken wings.
Oh wow! Look at that.
Put some jerk seasoning on there, man. Make some nice jerk wings. Excellent.
Yeah,
That's what
I got these, and I got a few more inside in the air fryer.
Nice. Actually, I don't have much luck with the air fryer except with jerk wings. You get the bottles of the jerk seasoning and stuff on the wet one, and put them on there and put them in that sucker for about 18 minutes. They are good. They are literally to die for because it crisps it up just a little bit, but it's still really, really moist on the inside. They are really, really good. So everybody, okay, not that we're here for talking about dinner and gourmet tips tonight. We got the draft in 2.5 weeks. We'll be heading on the road, and we will be there. And what position do you guys think the Cowboys will go in the first round? Are we going to be crazy and say we're going to get a running back?
Offensive line for sure.
Offensive line.
Yeah.
Everybody's consensus offensive line, huh?
I say the best player available.
It's either going to be
what if it's a CD scenario where you have somebody
best player available
that falls
I would
to
not
you?
object to that. I mean,
if you get that receiver, you may pull another CD Lamb.
That's what I'm saying. If somebody falls like that. Okay, so from what we know, I think Jackson Powers Johnson, center from Oregon, has been brought in. Talise Fuga from Oregon State has also come in for a visit. And
I don't know that Johnson does fall to the Cowboys. I think he'll be gone a few selections just before.
From what I'm hearing, that some of the experts aren't as high on him as the media is. Grand Burton from Duke, offensive line, has also been brought in. Those are the ones that we know about, but they have still quite a few more visits that they are going to plan on doing. And anybody have any desire for any player in particular? Anybody that
I don't know about anyone because I don't look at college football. So
I'm with you on that one, Stacy.
Jackson Powers Johnson is a guy I'm intrigued by because of how big he is and how athletic he is. But my big concern with him is
didn't he have injuries?
He's been injury prone.
Well, then you know the Cowboys will draft him then.
Try this player on for size, Mark.
What's that?
We had a kid that played here at the U that was a DB and a running back. Two-way player.
That's a rarity. That's a rarity these days.
Vaki or Saki or something like that. I can't remember his name. But a two plays both sides of the ball. Why couldn't you bring that guy in?
Okay.
Like maybe in the 4th round, 5th round?
Well, I have no idea what their plan is per se. But I do know we're going to need help in the offensive line. Yes.
Thomas. This is my surprise. I don't know if Dallas is going to draft him or not. He was a 30 visit guy down in Frisco. They said that this guy, he's very aggressive. He's very aggressive, but he's, he tend to get a penalty here and there. He's not, early round draft choice. Everybody's saying that he'll be a what you so-called, don't be surprised if Dallas was to pick him up in the later rounds or a free agent. He played his college ball in Canada at the University of British Columbia.
All right.
He's a Samoan. I forgot his name, but
Mammoth Mims. Mammoth Mims?
I think that's his name. He's a tackle.
Shout out to Randy Sites on that one. Okay. Well, the funny thing is you hear about X number of players and that this guy is going to be great, this, that, and the other. And more times than not, the fans are like, oh, why did we draft this guy? What? And Randy was right last year about Mozzie. All right, Randy. Okay, I admit it. You were right. Okay, I am still bringing lollipops to the draft, But you were right. But, a lot of times we're not wowed about a player, and all of a sudden you find out that player is actually going to end up being great. And sometimes it's the players that you pick up that you think the least of that become the stars a lot of times. How many times have we seen great players or great prospects that end up being squadouche? You know what I mean? All right, so
it was Sione Vaki that I was thinking of out of the Utes.
Sione Vaki. I'll check him out. Okay.
From where?
He's from Utah.
Mm-hmm.
He played up here at the U. He was a two-way player for the Utes for the last 2 years. He played running back and safety. He was a good kid. I really liked him. Ran for almost 1,000 yards this year.
Oh, and by the way, Troy, South Carolina just won a national title. They beat Iowa, blew them out.
Yeah, I figured Iowa wasn't going to do it.
Oh, congratulations. Okay.
Congratulations to South Carolina. I knew South Carolina was going to do it because they've been undefeated the last, 3 years, I think it is?
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway.
Right.
Oh, speaking of drafts, Mark, did you get my text? I set up our league for ESPN.
You text messaged me? Okay.
It was earlier this week. I can't remember when.
I'll go back and check on it.
And then I also emailed you about it, inviting you.
I have been on the road so much this week between going and working on that farmhouse, going back to my house, and back and forth here.
Anyway, it is set up and ready to go. The draft will be on your show on July 14th. How's that?
July 14th. I have no idea where I'll be, but I guess
that's a Sunday.
Okay. All right. So July 14th. Is that a little early before the rosters are set?
We could go in August if you want.
Well, we'll see. We'll play it by ear. We can keep it fluid. We'll need to announce it to everybody.
Yeah, actually, we probably ought to put it towards August because preseason doesn't start until the last week of July.
Yeah, because the first game.
The Hall of Fame game is the first week in August.
Yeah, that's the first game. The Hall of Fame game.
When's kickoff? It's the weekend after Labor Day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we ought to do it the first week of September then.
Randy,
we have time.
Randy says, I do not want a running back until the third round because there's a lot of backs in the draft, in this draft to draft one that high. Okay. Shout out to Randy with another
that's a good.
Yeah. Well, it seems like the Cowboys have brought in 5 more, and I think they've got 4 more planning on bringing them in for the 30-day visits. They've brought in, it looks like they're heavy on running back, linebackers, and offensive linemen that they're bringing in like 8 of each of those, and only a couple of D-backs, a couple of wide receivers, and a couple of tight ends.
So, O-line, linebacker, running back.
Thanks, 10 more minutes.
I tell you this though, Mark.
What's that?
If a linebacker is there for the take when we draft, better draft that linebacker and run.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I like Eric Henry.
I don't care if it's
go with him would definitely help.
I don't care if it's a guy from North Carolina State or edge recruit for Texas A&M. If he's there, you better get him and run.
All right.
I do not have time. I've already done said it once. I do not have time to tell Steve Jones, shame on you again. You done effed up once with the salary cap. Don't do it again, Stephen. Don't do it again.
Oh Lord.
I know.
No, I'm not you, man. I'm feeling a certain kind of way here, because see, I've been played by one of the people here in the chat. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Who is it? We can dog him.
It's Twiz Digga. See, you guys, you guys got me called John Holmes the son of John Holmes, and in my mama's basement. I'm gonna, you know what?
Wow.
I'm gonna confess. I'm gonna bare my soul here for a minute, though. I'm trying to understand, why is it that the talking heads always go to, to basically try and trash us by saying you're in your mama's base. Are they just trying to say that we don't have a job and we have to be supported by our mothers and we're just sitting there? Is that what it is? I don't understand why it is that we are always in our mama's basement. I've heard that multiple times from different people. When they always go at you, they always say, a guy in his mama's basement. I'm going to say, if you're in your mama's basement, you're actually saving some money. Because I remember I left home at 19 or 20 years old, because I got hair on my back. Yeah, I'm a grown ass man. I left and and then a couple months in, it's like, damn, I got bills. And I used to come home and mom had cooked something. There was always food in the fridge. It ain't so bad being back at home. But I ain't been back home since I was 20. So this has been, 28 years. So it's not that bad. But Twiz, see, Twiz is over here trying to get me.
You know what that's called?
What's that?
You know what that's called?
Jealousy?
That's called you, Law Nation, Boss Cowboy, my Cowboys. All you guys, you're doing something that's pissing the talking heads and the people You're breathing down their necks and you're lurking.
Exactly.
You're breathing down their necks and you're lurking.
Listen, man, we've been over here in our lane for years. We ain't been over on their turf doing stuff. They're coming to our house and trashing us. Right? They always look down. Oh, YouTube. YouTube. Oh, he's a YouTuber. And now they're now they're coming on YouTube and trying to say, "Oh, look at this guy from his mama's basement." Well, you know what, buddy?
Not only that, a lot of another thing that's pissing them off is YouTube has taken. They have taken off and taken over so much to the point that
they have to come
people in sports television is getting fired. You saw what happened last week with the NFL Network. You saw what happened last week. Adam Siciliano and about two or three other people that work with the NFL Network got fired.
Right, because it's like they realize. Well, here's the thing. You know what? The model has changed because when you think about First Take and Undisputed and all that stuff, where they would be there, have a show for 3 hours and all that, and you get a little taste of what you're looking for and so on. That model has changed because of the mentality of the swipe. Okay, let me no, next. Nobody wants to sit around for 3 hours. So the good thing is you can get exactly what you want. You get the highlights when you want. You can look at it on your cell phone and all that. So having this big studio, having all this production, staff and everything else, the lighting department, the writers and everything else, it's a lot of money to do that. In the end, if you're looking for, and most people aren't looking for the studio set and the 3-piece suit, they want their news. And they want to put up somebody that they like to hear from, and they don't want all the other mindless minutia and stuff. And that's where this is a different dynamic, And
then on top of that, you got John Doe, Tom, Dick, or Harry, who's out and about, can't get to a TV.
Yeah.
Miles away from their crib, and they're like, damn, I can't get to the house. Guess what? They go straight to YouTube and get whatever they need.
Exactly what they want. So
see where I'm going with this?
Oh yeah. And I love it because we've been here and stuff. But I kind of
Mark, if I was you, I wouldn't even. Mark, if I was you, man, I wouldn't even get pissed off about that.
But here's the thing, though. Here's what I want you to understand.
At the end of the day.
Yeah.
But here's the thing about this, though, okay? And I'm going to equate this to being like when people from Dallas say you're not a real Cowboy fan because you're not from Dallas. And not understanding that you don't have to fight the enemy in Dallas. You've got, there's a few fans that are fans of other teams, but you are in Dallas Central. You want to go to a game, you just buy a ticket, you go to the game. If you are like Brian Green, who literally is a mailman in Philadelphia, if you want to go to a sports bar and watch the Cowboys and cheer, go ahead and try that in Philadelphia wearing your Cowboys gear. You're going to get cussed at, shouted out, look at this bum. Risk your life to be that fan. You know what I'm saying?
I've seen people get beat up pretty good going into places like that, wearing cowboy gear and certain establishments. I'm like, yeesh.
Exactly, right. So if you are working for a radio station per se, right, they got the equipment. They've got the guy who runs the board, right? They got somebody that's going to give you like, okay, here's our agenda for the day and so on. You got a set time. You've got advertisers that are all set in. You've got your salary and everything else. You just have to show up.
Yep.
Is that easier or harder than you being your own CEO of your YouTube channel? You got to do your research. You have to get your audience. You got to pay for all your equipment and stuff. It's not like you get a pile of money and they say, here you go, start a YouTube channel. You have to do this while supporting yourself. This is not such an easy thing where, you're just a YouTuber. Well, there's 50 million YouTube channels, 50 million. Okay, you're just a YouTuber. Yeah. Okay, that doesn't mean that every single one of them is going to make it. You have to do work in order to get there. And this whole thing of, I don't understand how anybody looks down upon somebody else for doing their thing. When Dan Salio, thanks to Twiz, was trashing me, who is Mark Holmes? Who is Mark Holmes? Some guy in his mama's basement. And Eagle fans are coming here. So, it was funny because some Eagle fans are like, he's a blowhard. We don't like him, this, that, and the other, right? I kind of took offense to it, like Michael Jordan. I kind of took offense. And so I went in there and I started, on his live stream. And then next day he sends me a link. And it turns out the guy's actually pretty cool.
He's stirring the gravy.
He's stirring the gravy, but the guy's actually pretty cool. And I just don't understand how one person has to look down and try and denigrate what somebody else is doing. I just don't understand that one because it seems like 105 The Fan is actually going after
Sean
Jay
Sharif
Tuck.
is very disappointing to me. I didn't think he was that guy. I've been friends with him on X, now X. I know I'm a little dark, people. Sorry.
It looks actually perfect on the picture here on the camera.
What's that?
It looks actually perfect. I've got a glare when I look at the screen behind me, but on the camera,
you look great.
It looks perfect on the screen here.
I'm in the dark here. But
you've always been in the dark, Brian. You know that.
But as much as as mad as I am at Twiz Digga, I actually have to thank that jackass.
Well, listen, man. What's up, Twiz?
Jackass.
Yeah. Well, listen. Again, I gotta watch how. Here's the bottom line. We knew this was going to happen. That was people like when they wake up and smell the gravy, stir the gravy, whatever, and you had to know that Dan and Mark would get together eventually. As soon as he did any kind of homework on Mark Holmes, he knows it's good for business to be friendly with Mark Holmes.
Actually, what he said is usually he does that shit to people and they run and hide like a scared bitch.
I mean, I saw it, but don't think that he's not sucking up to you for the very reason that some people do. Is because you double him in YouTube subscribers. He probably sees what you're doing. YouTube is very open book. You can look and see how people are doing. So, listen, man, it's a two-way street. Don't take a back seat to nobody, Mark.
No.
Right? Don't take a back seat to nobody. You paid your dues. You got to where you got because of that. Because of the trolls. Thank you, trolls, and thank you, haters. That's the way it works.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, trolls, because y'all just did
I'm nobody in YouTube, and I get unbelievably trolled. So that's a good sign. It takes a while getting used to. I'm not going to lie to you. Mark said, hey, when you start getting negativity, that means you're doing something right.
Yeah, if you're not getting if everybody loves you, it's just your family watching.
I mean, dude, I'm getting told I'm ugly, I'm this, I'm that. I'm like, thank you. I'm an average guy. I don't wear makeup, but I don't do all this shit. Hey, whatever. Yeah. What you see is what you get.
Hey, Brian.
Yes.
I got the fantasy football league for this year up and set up.
Okay, we'll have to. If you visit that sometime, we'll have to.
Yeah.
We'll come up with some sort of We'll tie it in somehow. Well, I don't know.
We can do that. We can do that. I'm thinking
we'll
we
figure it
might want to do it on August 31st, the Saturday, the draft.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. That's fine. As long as
Because the
I'm
season
around.
actually kicks off on September 5th.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it that early?
Yep.
Wow, because
Just
usually it's
looked it
around
up.
the 10th or so.
Yeah, well, the first game of the year is.
Wow, that's
I don't know if
Thursday
it's
night.
I don't know. Yeah, it's not going to be the Eagles play in Brazil. I think their first game, but I don't think
which is going to be on Paramount.
Yeah, the schedule hasn't been
Cowboys. What I do?
put out
What I
yet,
do?
but-
Don't
it's
worry.
not. They're thinking Cleveland, who Philadelphia is going to play. They're thinking it's going to be Cleveland.
Well, usually the Thursday night game involves the Super Bowl winner.
Yeah.
It'll be Kansas City hosting somebody.
Yeah,
so
well,
what's the topic? What are you talking about, Mark? What's going on
just
here?
Just talking
what's
about the draft here.
takes
You know,
here?
the draft. Trying to figure out. Well, first of all, we have tackle Tavante Sweat was just arrested.
Yeah, Tavondre Sweat, DUI, Austin, Texas. Correct.
Yeah.
That's what I was doing.
Gosh,
I was
all
gonna
the
hop
good
on. I was
ones are
reading.
starting to.
No. Hey, he was already a second-round pick, so
Really?
Yeah.
he wasn't going in the first round.
Okay.
I mean, you see some mocks, it wasn't happening. Believe it or not, I don't want to take over, but yeah, he's not. He's not. He's a little bit lumbering. You know, he's a big boy and all, but there's some other guys
He's got
that are
some
better.
rolls. He's got some jelly rolls. But he's definitely a big boy.
No, yeah, I'm not saying he's not an option for us, but you know.
Well, I got you on here. Here's what's interesting to me is, at least thus far, we have not heard about very many visits for defensive tackles. We've heard a lot of running backs, we've heard a lot of offensive linemen, we've heard linebackers. Are we going to go ahead and just ignore defensive tackles? Are we going to look at this and say that Mozzie is going to be
and I got news
up?
for you, Mark. In the whole draft, there's maybe 3 one-techs, actual one-techniques. That's it. This is a horrible draft for one technique. So,
Right.
Okay.
Not,
so you're saying, Mozzie, you better get your shit together?
Mozzie, and I think we'll get one. I think they're good. Yeah, there's a couple guys. You mentioned one. He's not really a one. He's a big boy. He's your best shot at being a one. Is Tavondre Sweat, but don't forget McKinley Jackson out of Texas A&M. He offers a little more. I like him better than Tavondre Sweat for what we need. Yeah, sometimes you got to look at fit and everything. And there's a couple guys like real late in the draft. So, you know, we'll see. I think we'll get one. I do.
Actually, Mozzie is putting weight back on. He's back over 300 pounds, and they're basically – see, here's what the thing was, and I still don't understand why Dan Quinn wanted to make him a 3 technique. I guess he looked at it and said, we got Hankins at the 1 for the most part, and we'll make him a tackle.
Yeah,
but
I hear that the injury had an issue, had something to do with that.
You know, here's something that
couldn't lift, and
one thing that makes me actually feel good. Okay, in past years, back when we had Tony Romo and Des Bryant and things like that, you know what would always happen with those guys? It seemed like they were always injured and getting surgery. You know, Tony Romo late in his career, you know, with the back surgeries and things like that. They weren't able to work out. Now, a week from Monday, we start OTAs, or off-season workouts, I should say. There's so few mini camps and things like that. But the fact that we've already got Dak and like Brandon Cooks and the receivers and stuff have been working out and stuff, you've already beginning to see now like Overshown's videos where he looks like he's moving well. He's not wearing a brace, which is great. And you're seeing him working with the cones. Do I think he's 100% at this moment? No. But seeing him move like that now versus where, say, Michael Gallup was actually when everybody else was out on the field makes me feel good that he may be ready to get back. And seeing Micah, yesterday, Micah looks like he's actually put on even a little bit more weight from where he was last year. His arms look swole. He looked swole. Good. So I'm sitting there thinking, these guys at least are hungry. They didn't seem. CD Lamb did not look like he was sweating. What the whole trade rumors, and it didn't look like Micah was worried about his stick wearing thin or anything like that.
I think a lot of that is overblown. To be honest with you, it's all business.
And then and what I want to tell you earlier, Mark, is it's flavor of the week. My thing is who's gonna be next. Is it gonna be? Is it going to be Clarence Steele or Trey Smith? Who's next?
Mm-hmm.
It seemed like every week they come up with a Cowboy name, trying to see if one of the Cowboy players is going to budge, and nobody budge, and they're like, well, oh shit. He's not doing anything. He's not reacting. We gotta go to another guy. Who is it gonna be? Is it gonna be CD Lamb? Hell, he didn't budge. Is it gonna be Dak? He didn't budge. Is it gonna be Michael Parsons? Hell, he didn't budge. Oh, okay. We're gonna get Trey Smith next week. He's young. We'll see if he'll overreact. We'll see if he's mature enough to handle it. It's flavor of the week.
You bring up a good point there because, and maybe this is going to sound crazy, but I'll be 100% real, and I mean no disrespect to 105 The Fan. Okay? I mean no disrespect to him. But, again, I'm not in Dallas. I know a lot of people that'll surprise you and things like that, but it doesn't matter like it used to anymore because the world has been made smaller. Everything is instantaneous, okay? It's not like, back in the day where you only got 7 minutes on the news or sports and they talked about your hometown teams. You have everything at your fingertips at any moment, which is why newspapers and magazines are falling to the wayside. But as far as The Fan goes, very rarely do I just go, oh, let me go listen to The Fan. When I listen to The Fan more times than not, at least recently? When somebody let me know, hey, you're a G-Bag of the day. Oh, really? Do you have a link? So, okay, then I watch it. And then, I see Jay Tuck getting thrown under the bus, where all of us social media guys are, first we were morons, and now we're Cowboys Mafia. So then I go back and I look and say, well, what did Sean say this time? Other than that, very rarely do I actually see it. So is it because there's so many different avenues and so many different places that people are getting their stories? Are we doing this stuff to try and get some more publicity or get people to come back and watch? Possibility? No comments. Okay.
Are they
letting them talk?
Are they doing it for the views and ratings?
That's what I mean. Exactly. Are you doing this stuff, for the team? Jerry Jones, it's a lot easier for them to say nothing about, oh, yeah, we want to get Dak Prescott's contract done. Yeah, we believe in him. But have somebody else cut you off at the knees.
Here's the deal, though. Yeah, by waiting, it costs you money. That's my issue with the whole thing. By waiting and getting ratings, is that more important? You're hurting the team because what you're doing is costing each position group that you screw over and wait till the last minute to sign is going to cost that much more money. If you would have signed we can go back down. We've
CD last year.
Yeah, I mean, over and over. If you would have signed these guys. And I hate to keep bringing it up, people. Listen, don't shoot the messenger. But Howie Roseman does not wait till the last minute to sign his players, in which he got Jalen Hurts at $51 million.
Yeah,
it's going to go up, but you understand what I'm saying.
Years. Well,
we're looking at 60, 65 if we don't play it. 60 now, 65, 70 possibly. Who knows? Yeah. If we wait
that's
next
the Jones way.
It's dumb. Well, actually, it's absolutely dumb.
To Stacy's comment earlier, because you were saying that you think that the Joneses are still pissed off that Dak got over on him, and I agree with you 100%. And I'll give you the analogy that I remember from high school. our wrestling coach said that, he said there was this woman who was trying to get this parking space, an old woman, right? And this young kid zips right in there in front of her and said, that's what you get when you're young and quick, right? And she took the car and she backed her Mercedes into his and crashed the shit out of it. And she said, that's what you get when you're old and rich. Okay? And so here's the thing. Yeah, Dak, you got over on us. You got over us. But you know what? I'm going to make you pay for that shit. I'm going to get rid of Amari Cooper. You want to get the big money? You do it by yourself.
They've been trying to get back. They've been thumbing their nose. As the old folks used to say, it's called cutting your nose off to spite your face.
And when you're a billionaire, you can do that shit.
They've done nothing to help him. And they would never admit it. They have never gotten over. You know how important it is for billionaires like the Joneses to win at everything. They have never forgiven him.
Hold on. The real fan won. Hurts was worth it, not Dak. Wants Jones to give Dak's $60 million a year. Hold on. Wait. Let's back up here, because I don't think. Here's what's funny is, if you want to go playoff record, Jalen Hurts is 2-3. 2-3. Jalen Hurts has had one good season.
And they'll
one
throw
good
in
season.
There, well, he did it in only 4 years or 3 years as a starter. We
And you know what? And as we were getting rid of Amari Cooper, they were getting A.J. Brown to go with the best offensive line in football. I'm sorry. Yeah, okay. You know what? See, y'all just pissed me off today. Here's the thing.
Telling you what they're going to say.
No, here's the thing. If it's only the quarterback, if Jalen Hurts is so great, then why did they go out there and get A.J. Brown? Why, if C.J. Stroud is so much better than Dak Prescott, do they go out there and get a Joe Mixon? Why do they go out there and get a Stephon Diggs? Because clearly the quarterback is the only thing you need, and you got a great quarterback, so why get other positions? Explain that one to me, people. Right. Explain why teams try to surround the quarterback with more players. If they are so good, they don't need anybody. And right now, here's what's funny is everybody's crying, poor Josh Allen. They're taking all his weapons. Oh, poor Josh. Wait a minute. I hear nobody crying about Dak Prescott when he lost everybody. When he is literally starting with CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb is the only guy who was on the offense as a receiver that had caught a touchdown pass. And you signed a Michael Gallup who was not ready to start the season, and when he did start playing, was not anywhere close to being any good. Noah Brown had more freaking yards than Michael Gallup. And people say, Dax just sucks. Put that offense with Jalen Hurts that Super Bowl year, and let's see if they go to the Super Bowl.
Exactly.
Come on, man. Jalen Hurts was worth it. Oh, he was okay. So Lamar Jackson, 2-time MVP, 2-4 record in the playoffs. He's worth it, but Dak's not. Okay, I get it. Come on.
Yeah,
man.
I'm kind of like, the players that surrounds Dak Prescott right now. You honestly think any other quarterback would be able to deal with that? Let's get real here. What the Dak Prescott supporting cast, is any other quarterback going to be able to win a Super Bowl with what he's got? Probably not.
Blake Bird, shout out to you for the super chat. I like big butts. I cannot lie.
I think he wants you to sing it more.
No, I'm not going to sing that. I like big butts, and I cannot lie.
I know you wanted to sing it. That's why I was saying.
Oh, Lordy, but that's the jam there, man.
I teed that one up to you.
But no, I'm sorry. You can't be mad at the Joneses for not doing any moves right now and then say it's the quarterback's fault. Sorry, you can't have it both ways. You cannot. I can't give that to you. Okay? And so next year, if C.J. Stroud, who's gotten more weapons, does great things, it'll be just because he's great? Come on, man. Okay, let me give you the analogy I told you yesterday, Brian. So which is harder, or which would be more difficult, connecting to just CeeDee Lamb or connecting to Debo and Brandon Ayuk? Okay?
Yeah.
If you had Brandon Ayuk and Debo, is it harder or easier for the quarterback to have that scenario or have CeeDee Lamb?
Obviously,
anybody?
Harder just to have CD.
Right. So if you're a defense defending one guy,
Okay. That's easy.
Okay.
Give me Debo and Ayuk. Absolutely.
All right. So here's what's amazing is, as everybody talks about how great Brock Purdy is, I want you to understand that CeeDee Lamb had 135 receptions. Brandon Ayuk and Debo Samuels combined had 135 receptions. Just think about that for a second. The next closest guy to CD was Brandon Cooks with 1,000 yards behind him. So defenses know that's the main guy we got to stop. That makes it harder than if you can look and say, well, we got Debo covered. Probably Ayuk's going to be open. So I got two great guys there. And that doesn't even put in there Kittle. And that doesn't put in there also having Christian McCaffrey around him. If you honestly say he's a better quarterback with all of that, did anybody fear Tony Pollard last year?
Anybody? I don't think anybody even gave Tony Pollard a second thought last year, to be honest with you.
At all. Now, Jake Ferguson came around and started playing really, really well, and I have a lot of hope for him, but I'm not sure he was quite on Kittle's level just yet.
Not quite.
Right?
Getting close.
But when you got Brandon Ayuk and Debo out there, and those guys, are you kidding me?
Right.
And what happened when Debo went out for those 3 games?
They lost.
Oh, but it's only the quarterback, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm just asking for a friend. Just asking for a friend. All right, so I've kind of over talked in here. I'm gonna let you guys take over the show here and give me your thoughts on where we are. Are you disappointed about where we are at the moment? Do you have hopes for the season? Is it going to be a losing season that we're going to literally tear it up, or are the Cowboys going to end up being 10+ win team and in the playoffs?
I have no expectations. As a matter of fact, I think I'm going to pick up some of my old hobbies. I'll still come to the chat. I'm very serious. I will still come, and participate in the live chats. I will not be wasting my time watching the games. I'm going to start skating and bowling, doing things I love. I'm not investing all this time that I have. Mark, I told you I'm at a different place mentally as my family members are passing away. I mean, avid Cowboy fans.
Yeah.
I just get angrier and angrier. And I'm like, why am I wasting what little precious time I have left? And they don't give a care about us. And so, I like I said, I'll still be here on your channel, on Law's channel, but I'm not going to be sitting up watching the game. I'm going to be out enjoying my life because they could give a care about how we feel. And we're so close, and they won't take the minor steps that it takes to put us over the top. And so I'm like, why am I wasting my time? I'm not.
It's hard to argue that point. It's hard to argue.
And I can feel her on that because I honestly personally believe if you look at it this way, we built that new stadium. We have that. Look at all the money they're generating from that. If they can keep the team, in a winning trajectory most of the time, they can make the profits from that. You see what I'm saying? They're making already money off WrestleManias, concerts, the hotel rooms that are there and everything else. That's the way I see it. It's a money game, and we're being played like fools. That's just my opinion. And
I'm enjoying my life.
I just hate seeing the game I love get freaking ripped.
Yeah.
Mark, I want to tell you congratulations
for
your milestone. That's an awesome milestone.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Dude, I have something really, really to share with you guys, and it has to do with the eclipse too. Be careful with that because I got a burnt retina from that.
Oh shit!
But I had corneal transplants and everything where Troy's at. It was a long, hard process, but the last Super Bowl I won, and for you people that don't know what it was like before digital and how to use a TV antenna, I had to stand behind an antenna like this out in the country and hold the antenna just to watch the game and look at it through a mirror, blind.
Damn.
Okay. I didn't get to see the game clearly until I was older on YouTube. But, man, I don't know. it's just, Mark's channel here. You do so much for a lot of people, Mark. And
oh yeah,
I love the community here. You guys are all, I wouldn't, if it wasn't for Mark, my dad and I wouldn't have had a relationship. My dad was a veteran.
Yeah.
He had a head injury, and through Mark, it was really funny. In 2017, I come home from work. My dad's trying to mess with the TV. You know how older people are.
Yeah.
They don't know. What the heck's with this? Why is it not stuck on YouTube? Well, my dad came across Mark. He was trying to get it on the football game before I got home. And I'll be darned if that's how my dad and I, for the first time, were able to come together and talk together. And Mark, that's why I sent you that picture, man, of a Roger Dodger there, because my dad would have wanted you to have that, man. And I don't know. We're all fans here. It doesn't matter what team we are, but we all have one thing in common. We love our game.
Yes,
and I feel most of this is just a money game with everybody.
It is.
And
it is.
It's bad because
if we stop buying merchandise or tickets, they have their billions. That will not change. So for us to try to hurt them now, we cannot financially. They have it made.
Yeah, there's nothing we can do financially to ever hurt them. They have, So and I got news for you. Not going to the games. Let's say they don't have a sellout. They'll just go to a Kroger or
that's
whoever,
what they do.
and they'll buy the tickets and just so it's
and keep it moving.
Shown on TV locally. That'll happen. So, merchandise, that's like a drop in a bucket to them. I know it's big, but at this point, how big they are, it's a drop in a bucket. So like what Stacey's saying, go bowling. I'm not saying don't root for the Cowboys. That's what we do, Mark, but we'll be here. But I cannot blame people from living their lives. We're not getting any younger. People go, oh my God, these old fogies talking about it. All I'm saying is we're way past we're over that top. There's less time ahead of us than there is behind us.
You're right.
Mark?
You're 100% right.
I just feel they care more about their money than they do their own game and their own product, and that's just the way it feels to me.
Yeah,
why would you do stupid, dumb moves?
And they're all the rules now. Yeah, right. $100 million.
Here's the problem:
in Comstock. $100 million.
Yeah, but here's the problem.
That's not to the business. That's to the business, not to the team. Oh, Stacey, you know what they just did? They just raised ticket prices for 300 level and for the next level, the higher up.
Yeah,
they won't get any of my money. Like I said, I'm going to still come here to the chat because I enjoy this community.
Crazy, isn't it?
But I'm
How
not
do you raise ticket prices.
Time watching games
because they're the NFL. They know they can do it.
Still have fun with you guys. I have no. And so if they win, fine. If they don't,
it's frustrating. It is very, very, very frustrating.
I don't care. I don't.
Well, and I may be delusional and I may be crazy, but I still think that the cake is not baked yet.
Yeah.
I still believe that
it's baked. It's dry.
Okay, if I can say if somebody says, give me the best case scenario. The best case scenario is they realize we screwed up on Dak Prescott's contract last year.
They know it.
Before. And the best thing to do is let's take that $55 million hit this year right now, and then we get the new deal done. We don't have $95 million that we're having to add on to the contract. Okay.
Yeah.
That's one way to look at it. If you say, Dak, we got $40 million next year we got to deal with on the contract with the new contract, that's actually a little more palatable than to say you got $90 million right now. If you think about 5 years on a contract, if you went 5 years, you're talking about $18 million a year. We got to add to the contract because of what we had from the old one. That's not real easy to do. But if you're only dealing with $40 million over 5 years, then we're only talking about $8 million. Right. So in some regards, that could actually be the case. Now, they will get CDs done at some point and get some cap relief. We got the money coming from Michael Gallup. And if you honestly look at it, I have to say that right at this moment, if Overshown continues the progress that he's doing, along with Kendricks, this is better than we had Leighton Vander Esch and Anthony Barr.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Okay,
Mark,
and if I'm looking at this, they may believe, or maybe Mike Zimmer says, you know what, Sam Williams, I can make him a great defensive end. and it's not worth paying Dante Fowler and Dorrance Armstrong. And if they let's say they get Trey Benson in the draft at running back,
that would be better than any free agent.
Wouldn't that be better than Tony Pollard?
Oh yeah.
If you put Trey Benson, Zeke, and Rico, that's better than what we had on the field last year, right or wrong?
Again, I think I don't know. Listen, I'm not going anywhere, but I don't blame Stacy, and I think I ain't gonna lie to you. I feel like if we win, we're gonna have to get lucky.
Well,
we're gonna have to just catch lightning.
We're gonna have to get lucky in the draft, and we're gonna have to get lucky with the injured players.
We've had 12 wins 3 straight years. I mean, now was the time, and we didn't add to the team. Now, we didn't add to the team, right? We did it. We're like, oh, okay, we got 12. Oh shit, we're gonna win a division this year. Let's face it, Eagles shit the bed and lost 7 out of 8. Yeah, that's what happened, people. They lost out. They choked, that they spit the bit and handed us the division. That's what happened. We took it, and then we did nothing with it. So,
well, but here's the other part of the equation too. Okay,
this is weird. I'm the negative one, and Mark's the positive.
No, but actually, just think about this for a second. And actually, fucking Twiz. Twiz, I hate to say it, but see, listening to Dan, Dan is realistic, and that's why Eagle fans don't like him, because he's saying the way he sees it from his experience of being in the NFL, that they're going to miss Hassan Reddick. That defense that they had that was ass that's bringing another defensive coordinator, it's not going to be good. Now, do you guys feel like the Eagles' offense now going into a third offensive coordinator in 3 years with Jalen Hurts, who was injured last year with his knee, is going to be better?
No, Jalen Hurts.
No.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts. Yeah. Jalen Hurts has to run that read option.
Go below 500 this year.
Yeah. Exactly.
So if the Eagles are taking a step back, I still believe that.
I don't think they're taking a step back. We'll see. It's an unknown, Mark, with what kind of offense they're going to run. If they're going to, the only way, and I think Dan Cilio, however you want to pronounce his last name, if he's on it, I think the only way he's going to be successful, Jalen Hurts, is if they go back to the offense that they ran a couple years ago, where he has to be a running threat.
Yeah,
he threw 108 times more from the pocket, and it was not good, people.
And that's what Dan was saying is he's like, look, they're trying to make him a pocket quarterback, and he's like, he's a gadget guy.
I don't think Kellen Moore's going to let that happen.
That's what I mean. If he doesn't change, Kellen. Mm-hmm. And I actually had their defense the other day, and I said, they're getting too much crap. Kellen's good in the regular season. Let's not lie. He wasn't necessarily, But
when playoffs come around, he forgets everything.
I know. But I don't know that he's going to take you anywhere, So.
I don't think Jalen's.
All right, so hypothetically.
That leg is just, he's not going to be that big of a threat. He's going to be more of a pocket passer.
Quarterback. He'll be a pocket passer.
Yep. Okay, so I don't think the Eagles are going to be as good as they were 2 seasons ago. Not anywhere close. And having new coordinators and all of the stuff on their defense, I don't think they're a 12-win team.
No.
Okay.
Well, even with them having Kellen Moore, that actually helps us too, because we got
hellacious schedule. We have a bad schedule.
We'll see.
Do we
next
look at
month schedule release?
So if we think the Eagles are taking a step back, and even if we do take a step back,
I don't know how you can say they're going to take a step back. I don't buy that.
Their defense.
How are they taking a step back?
Hassan Reddick.
They had a horrible year last year. I don't think they're going to take a step back.
Okay.
They added way too much talent to take a step back.
Kelsey gone?
Okay, I could see certain parts, but I think, what I mean is, you saw what we did. They're not going to have nowhere near the schedule. They're not going to have the schedule that we're going to have. They're going to have an easier schedule. Okay.
Philly 500 won't have his Cox anymore.
I feel like
that I'm getting the friggin' Elena. I actually have the Eagles back here. I'm just not going to sit there and say they're going to take a huge step back.
I didn't say a huge step back. I didn't say huge. I said, but
they
I
lost
think
7 out of 8. They're not going to do that this year.
Okay, they won't. It'll be spread out.
I don't think they start out as hot as they did.
I don't think so either.
Maybe that's the case. Maybe
yeah, I don't see. Okay, what do they end up? 11-6.
Sugar Daddy, exactly.
11-6.
Okay, they ended up 11-6. Okay, I could see them 10-7. I could see them at 9-8.
I think 10 wins the division. How's that?
Well,
that?
that's my point being is we've got a tough schedule.
11 wins win the division.
Oh, definitely, I think so.
Because our schedule's brutal.
Okay,
Yeah, you've got
all right. So perfect scenario.
After free agency too.
Okay, so perfect scenario. Somehow we end up getting. Let's say we lucked out. Josh, you get Jackson Powers, and he's okay from the injury, right? Let's just say hypothetically, and the Cowboys get Trey Benson. That offense is pretty damn good then.
Yeah.
Okay, and if you can go ahead and then sign a couple of free agent defensive tackles, it's not the worst defense in the world.
Again, I'm not here to pump up the Eagles, but we're sitting there saying, "Oh, we just got to get to the draft." Well, they have like 3 or 4 more draft picks than we do, so they got
but
more
they
free
don't
agents.
do as good with them. Though.
I know what you're saying. I'm just saying, let's not worry about the Eagles. Let's worry about us, where everybody's counting on them taking a step back. Assume that they win 10 games. How's that? So how are you going to get to 11? And if you don't win a division with 11, you're sure as heck going to be in the playoffs. Because my thought is I don't care that we win a division because you hand us something good, we don't like it. So let's just scrap our way in, and I'll be happy. Just get in. But I'm not going to.
I think if Dallas gets that 10-win season, they're definitely playoff bound.
I'm going to reserve all this until I see the schedules and we go over the schedules next month. The middle of May,
that's
the schedule release. We'll see what we're looking at.
Okay, let me say this much as far as the Eagles go, okay?
All right, I'll shut up.
Okay, 2013, they drafted in the first round Lane Johnson, which was incredible, okay? We can't argue with that one. After that, they got Marcus Smith, who was a bust. Nelson Aguilar, who was
Another
a bust.
bust.
Carson Wentz.
Another bust.
Derek Barnett. Baby hands, as Philly 500 would say. Andre Dillard.
Bust.
Another bust.
Jalen Reagor. Jalen Reagor.
Bust.
Okay.
Regular.
Okay. Devontae Smith has been good. Okay.
Yes.
Devontae's been okay.
Jordan Davis.
Who? Yeah.
Jordan Davis.
They got
traded up to get Jordan Davis.
Jordan Davis. He's still out on him.
Okay. They did get Jalen Carter this past year and Nolan Smith. Okay. Jalen Carter is good. I'll give you that one. But you
hold up.
What?
If I'm sorry, Thomas, but if people are going to say that Mozzie's a bust after 1 year, then Jordan
Davis is too.
No. I'm not saying you. Dan Saleo said Mozzie stinks.
Ends up having a better sophomore.
Wait a minute. Hold on. How I got a hold on. How I got a Cardinal fan in here telling me we suck? The only win you get is against the Cowboys, man. Come on, man.
You're welcome.
Give Mozzie another chance, man.
Damn. Ain't that
Let him get back to
shit?
his playing way and let him do what he does well. Like Dan Quinn wants him to do well. He gets with Mike Zimmer there, and Mike Zimmer might be able to clean him up a little bit to make him better. You never know.
Yeah.
I'm telling you from my own personal experience.
They
screwed him.
Mozzie's a bust. I'm saying if you're saying that, Jordan Davis is a bust too. Then I don't believe Mozzie's a bust. I don't believe Jordan's a bust. But I think Jordan has not lived up to potential. No, and this is what happens when you draft. You get all excited. Ooh, we got the national championship Georgia team, and all these studs are playing together. And then you pull a couple of them off. It's not the same. It's not the same. Yeah. There's a reason why Alabama offensive tackles don't usually do well. Why? Because they're surrounded with so much friggin' talent. And then when you pull them off of that talent and then you put them on a record, you know what I mean? Come on, Tom.
You got a steep learning curve when you get into the league anyway. So
game time, you took the words out of my mouth.
There you go. Go ahead. I'll zip it. Go ahead.
The words out of my mouth because I was gonna say the same thing. You you get these players who played in big time colleges, they bad boys on Saturday. Bad boys. But when they play on that next level on Sunday, they suck ass. And you kind of wonder. And you say to yourself, and you be like, oh man, they were around what's his name? They was around that certain player. He was a Heisman Trophy winner last year. The quarterback, he was a Johnny Unitas Award winner last year. That's the reason why he can't catch jack shit.
Yeah.
And then when they play, when they start playing on Sundays, when they go on the next level, you don't hear from them no more. That's because of who they were surrounded by.
Yeah.
And you got to also look too. It's not just the talent level. You got to look who's coaching them.
Yes. You got to look. You got to look at who was coaching them, and you got to look at the system that they was under.
Exactly. And if they're going to an NFL team that does not play that same type of system they're coming from, they're going to do you no good. They are not going to do you any good.
Yeah. And see, that was my thing when I first started thinking about Dak Prescott, okay? I'm sitting here thinking Dak Prescott was on a team that the only other player that was drafted on the offense was the tight end in the 6th round. He wasn't surrounded by a lot of great players and things. He was in the toughest conference in football that generally puts in about 50-plus players into the NFL every year. Then I looked at Carson Wentz, who was Division I AA, right? How many NFL quality players did he play against?
Hardly any.
There you go.
Unless they went up against JMU, in which case then they did.
Wow.
Sorry, I had to put that in for you, Mark.
Yeah, there you go. But that was my thing, is like this guy is playing on a team that's not loaded against the big boys versus Carson Wentz is the big fish in the little pond. So, yeah, Carson Wentz had the advantage of, being overmatched with this competition. But, be that as it may, I'm just a guy broadcasting from my mama's basement.
Said. I mean, if you're bringing in the Heisman Trophy winner from the college team and put him on your team, he's not going to be a Heisman Trophy winner anymore.
No.
You have to develop him so that he can play on that level. It's a next level thing. It's not like coming from college to college. The NFL coordinators, coaches, everybody does things different than the college.
You ain't lying.
The college program. I mean, you could bring Alabama's team, the whole thing, or Georgia's team.
Well, that's what the Eagles tried to do. It's like, they're a national championship defense. Let's just bring all those guys in. Didn't work out quite the same.
Exactly, because
it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that because once you leave college, it's the old saying in The Wizard of Oz: you're not in Kansas anymore.
Nope.
You in New York City now. You in the concrete zone. You in the concrete jungle now. You playing against the big boys.
You're the top 1% of the best players in the league, or out there, basically.
Yeah.
You're getting a welcome to the jungle, baby. Hey, you're not in the sandbox anymore, dude.
Yeah. You ain't lying about that one.
And these players need to learn to adapt to the coaching. I mean,
yes,
Alabama's coaches, Georgia's coaches, whoever's coaches in college are not going to be the same in the NFL. So you have to be ready to adapt your play to what their needs or what the team needs. It's not going to be hey, we got the Heisman Trophy winner, Caleb Williams now. We're going to be the best team in the NFL. No, you're not. Yeah. You're not going to be the best team in the NFL. Just because he's coming from USC, another one of the great schools, had a great team at USC, doesn't mean he's going to translate to the NFL. I mean, how many Heisman Trophy winning quarterbacks were busts? Andre Ware?
Oh man, you can just go. Listen, you could just go down the list. In Cleveland.
You can go down the list from, I dare say, way back to Ty Detmer. Ty Detmer was a Heisman winner. What did he end up doing?
Yeah,
backing up his whole NFL career. He did not start on any year of the NFL. He was a backup his whole NFL career.
He might have started 1 year in Philly, but he didn't last long.
No, you're thinking Coy Detmer.
Oh, Coy.
His brother.
Coy was the one.
Okay,
Yeah,
I got
Coy
you.
was the one that started in Philly.
Yeah, I forgot that there was.
I think Doug Peterson was his backup.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Doug Peterson was Coy's backup. Believe it or not.
Didn't know that. Okay.
But anyway, you could start way back at Ty Detmer. How many quarterbacks drafted since him have actually won a Super Bowl? Maybe what? You could probably count them on both hands.
Yeah, here's the thing, though. The draft, honestly, it's a crapshoot. You know, you got about a 50-50 chance of anybody being good or being bad. You just do. It doesn't matter.
It's like a roulette wheel. You never know what you're going to land on.
Good example, 2013. Everyone was saying, Travis Frederick? Who's this guy? And then all of a sudden, I look at his highlight film, and this guy's a freaking monster, and he ends up being a 5 or 6 time Pro Bowl, one of the best centers we've ever had.
Yeah.
It's a shame that he ended up getting sick and couldn't play no more.
He had that Guillain-Barré syndrome.
Man.
I mean, it's like...
And as usual, we didn't replace that.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you another quarterback who want to have him trophy. The jury's out on him. Yeah, I know he got 2 playoff wins, but the jury is out on him. Lamar Jackson.
Yep.
See, a lot of people don't know this, but he won a Heisman Trophy. A lot of people don't know that he won a Heisman Trophy at Louisville.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, you know, you can look at the highway being littered with all these quarterbacks that they thought were going to be great and end up being deer in the headlights. So,
oh my gosh!
And I give you another one. Jameis Winston.
Oh,
yes.
Jameis Winston and Mariota. Remember, they were 1 and 2.
Yeah,
they were 1 and 2.
And what's his name from Texas A&M?
Johnny Manziel.
Johnny Manziel.
Yeah, and I remember everybody was the Cowboys will do whatever it takes to draft Johnny Manziel. Okay, thank God they didn't do that.
Thank God we didn't do that.
You know, and that's one of the crazy things that when you start thinking about some of the moves that they've told that the Cowboys should do, you know, they did laugh at Travis Frederick. You know, the Cowboys, remember, we traded with San Francisco and moved back, and we got Travis Frederick as well as, shit. I was just getting ready to leave, and now I know it's time to leave.
Oh, no. Don't say it.
Already?
Lordy.
Yeah, I gotta go, everybody.
We gonna get high.
So I am gonna
Let me say one thing, though. With this eclipse coming up, everybody be careful with this.
With
my
eclipse, yes.
problem was I had bad vision to begin with.
Yeah.
But not even looking at it, they had a thing where we had to look through so we could view the, crescent moon. Be very careful because just even looking at a little thing that you can see it through that they say you can burn your eye.
Okay.
So wherever I focus, it's
I
not
ordered,
there.
I ordered some glasses.
So be very careful, guys.
Okay. We definitely will.
I don't want to see anybody have to go through that because getting through school is a pain in the ass.
I can
when you have to look over here.
What up, fellas? What's good?
Oh, Lord. Loyal.
We're just about ready to close things out.
You're like about to go. You're just
Thank you
not
for showing.
Man, you late, man. Man, you late, man.
Well, time to end the show.
We can ready to close. Hey, we can ready to close the cap shop, dude.
Well, first of all, I would just like to say real quick, thanks to Game Time Brian for the things that he was saying. And contrary to what Mark was saying about the Philadelphia Eagles,
I'm just not going to go there.
Or not.
I'm not going to go there, Leo, and say that they're going to be, I just can't. That's not being honest.
I most certainly agree, Game Time.
I'm sorry. I think they're in transition.
Here's the problem. Here's the unknown. The unknown is to what degree. And the other thing too that I think people fail to realize is that, and you've heard me say this a bunch of times about players and everything, but there was a very real investment in coaches this year too, outside of Vic Fangio and Kellen Moore.
Hey, I'll tell you what, you need to get a new stockbroker bro, because that investment in Kellen Moore, man, is going to blow up in your face, man. That's a penny stock right there you invested in, bro.
Mark, I said outside of Vic Fangio and Kellen Moore. I wasn't talking about them two.
Okay.
I was talking about the defensive coach that we brought over from Seattle.
Okay.
I was talking about all the other coaches that were brought in. If you look, and I understand your point to your point too, Mark, it's not easy to recover from having not one coordinator but two coordinators. I get that.
But here's the problem, though. The problem is this is what happened to Jason Campbell with the Commanders. Every single year, it was a new offensive coordinator and new plays. And see, today's NFL, it's not like when – this is how crazy it is. When I played football, we had as many practices in 1 week as they have all of training camp.
Right.
There's not a lot of time to get practice in with a new system. That's the problem. You got, Kellen Moore's going to have, I'm sure, different play calling signals and terminology than what he had last year with whoever it was last year. You know what I'm saying? And those things take time to learn. You saw the learning curve even for the Cowboys last year. We didn't start getting into a groove on the offense until after the bye week. And that's what I'm saying is you got new coordinators. Now, and I don't believe in Kellen Moore. I'm sorry. I just don't. Okay? Because here's the thing that I can say is people will say, oh, well, Jason Garrett was a great coach and everything else and what he was doing with Dak Prescott. What did he do with Daniel Jones when he went to New York?
I'll say this. As an Eagles fan, I take it with a grain of salt whenever a Cowboys fan says they believe in anything.
Okay.
You got to take that with a grain of salt because over the past almost 30 years, there's nothing that says you guys actually know what you're doing. And on top of that, I told you a few weeks ago, your biggest problem is going to be you're not going to like the fact that you see a lot of activity going on.
That's every year, though, bro.
You'll be devoid of it.
Bro. That's every year.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah,
okay, here's what I can say. As actually stepping back from the equation, I can look at it and say Denver spent a boatload of money a couple of years ago, and where's Denver? They went and picked up one of the guys we decided not to pay with Randy Gregory.
I don't have look.
Look at the Jets. The Jets have spent more money than anybody else over the last 4 years. And what have the Jets done?
I think Denver is a conversation.
Thank you, Miss Gibson.
I think the Jets are a conversation, guys. You know what I'm saying? But right now, the conversation I'm having is about the Dallas Cowboys.
Okay.
And right now, the Dallas Cowboys are devoid of activity. You know what I'm saying? You don't know you guys. You don't know whether you want to keep a mic apart. Now the talk is
okay. That's the noise, bro. Okay, you want to know what that's about? You know what that's about? That is the way the Cowboys do business. Remember Zeke who? Zeke who? When Zeke who? Because Tony Pollard had a good preseason game. I believe they signed his ass. Okay. I remember D-Law, we thought we had a deal, at the combine and, we were talking about $18 million and he wants like 21, 22. They ended up signing him and he's been here 4 years past that contract. Dak Prescott, the exact same contract talk of trading him and everything else was just like this 4 years ago. And guess what? Dak Prescott's still here. So the Cowboys always denigrate a player when it's time to get paid. Just like Dez Bryant tweeted. He's like, yep, I knew that was coming, because when Dez Bryant, it was time to get his contract done, all of a sudden we heard about the police going to Dez Bryant's house. That there might be a tape out there that's 10 times worse than Ray Rice's.
Ray Rice.
Yeah. And it sucks. It's stupid. It's immature. And what's the worst part about it is, if it actually worked and they got good contracts with the players, you say, okay, I understand it. But this shit don't work. And they still end up signing the guys to the contracts that they say they're not going to, because it never works.
And none of it survives up to a championship or playoff wins. Like none of this works. So like doing things this way, as an Eagles fan, I hope you guys continue to do these things.
Now, I'm going to say, here's the thing, okay? Sometimes you go into Vegas and everything you touch is you're just hitting on everything. Other times you bust. I can look and say, when you had that Super Bowl season 2 years ago, you hit on everything, man. You guys, it was just like, just bet it all. Just bet it. You guys hit on every single one of those moves. And that's not typical. Then what you saw was this year, a lot of those moves you made kind of crapped out. So that's where it started bouncing back to where not every free agent signing is a good one.
Well, we don't. But here's the thing. I told you this a few weeks ago. I don't care if it does or doesn't work. What I care about is, are you doing something? Are you actively trying to make us better?
We haven't, but we've been at least able to hold serve 12-5 3 years in a row.
That means nothing if you don't have.
Okay, well, it is what it's going to be. What it's going to be. It's going to be what it's going to be. There, Loyal Cowboy. I got to hear from my man Loyal real quick, because he's been in here. I didn't even realize he's in here because he's quiet as a church mouse. You hold your thoughts, okay? You hold your thoughts there, Leo.
Hey, I'm just letting everybody vent. We'll see what they do in the draft. I mean, that's all I could say. I mean, it hasn't been a good off season, but I'm just hold my breath and keep my fingers crossed that we do something good in the draft and we can do something.
You guys are picking 26, right?
24th.
24th.
Yeah.
24th?
Yeah, 24th.
Mm-hmm.
What do you hope to get at 24?
Offensive lineman.
Lineman at least.
At this point,
at least, yeah.
We got so many holes to fill. I mean, a lot of the players that we got rid of, yes, we wanted to see them go. And I'm not so upset about that. I'm just more concerned with what are we going to do to replace them? That's the question.
Right.
Yep.
You think we might be able to move up a couple of spots in that draft? Just in case, because of that other old lineman getting his ass in trouble?
Yep. Yep. And then you got the defensive tackle from Texas.
There's some players
I'm not a big fan of moving up.
I wouldn't mind getting Blake Corum from Michigan at running back. I think he would be pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. A lot of these players I'm interested will be available. But we already know that, Catboy and them, they're not very aggressive in the draft. So I'm not going to hold my breath on that. Say, we're going to trade up and try to do something big.
Yeah, the one guy that I think would be a good addition is projected to be a fifth-round pick, Brendan Rice at USC, son of Jerry Rice. I think he'd be a good player.
Mm-hmm.
But he's not even projected to even be a
top but look at how many players, sons of Hall of Famers.
Tony Dorsett, Larry Allen.
Bro, Jeremiah Trotter's son is in this draft this year, too.
Yeah.
You got Marvin Harrison Jr., Jerry Rice's kid.
My boy Marvin Harrison Jr. That'd be my wish list, but that ain't gonna happen.
He'll
be top 5. He'll be gone number 5.
He'll be gone within 5 minutes when the draft come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, Marvin Harrison Jr. I think will be second or third for sure.
And then none of us have anticipated who's going to slide. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And on top of that, we don't know who's going to trade for what. Because I got a feeling that you got a couple of teams, the Cowboys included, you know what I'm saying? I can see them doing some sort of a package deal with the player to move up or something like that.
Anything's possible.
I would use, that's just me. I would probably use Trey Lance as trade bait.
Yeah. There you go.
That's just me.
There you go.
Because a lot of other teams can use a quarterback, and I would say, hey, maybe that's what they might be planning on doing. We don't know.
Yeah, that's exactly like Loyal. That's exactly what I was thinking. That's the only reason why it makes. That's the only reason why I thought you guys brought him in. I was like, oh well, he make great trade bait.
Yeah.
Trouble is,
the problem
we gave up a fourth to get him. Could we get a fourth back?
I don't know.
Well, here's the thing.
When you look at what everybody else traded these guys for,
wouldn't that be what you would get from a compensatory pick perspective?
Not really.
He'd have to sign a $20 million contract.
Let me give you an example, right? So a lot of people here are pissed off, myself included. I had to take some time to really get my mind right to digest this whole Hassan Reddick trade. I told you guys the last time I think we all were together that I really hope they can make this work. I wanted us to keep Hassan.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is that Vic Fangio's defensive scheme is the 3-4.
Mm-hmm.
So he doesn't fit that scheme, number one. Number two, if we played him and we let him walk, then the most we could get is probably a third round pick and compensatory pick.
Not that high. No. Hassan would have been a 4.
Okay, so then a 4. Okay, let's say 4. Okay. So now I'm like, all right, well, what this equates to is next year, what we did get was next year we got either a possible third round pick, or a possible second round pick in 2026.
Yeah.
Well, Leo, the ramp. I mean, the Jets got over. The Jets got over on y'all in that trade.
I don't know.
They got over.
Yeah,
they got over.
Yeah, I mean, right now, right now it's looking like all we did was just swap players because we took on Bryce Huff. They didn't, you see what I'm saying? The same, like, they didn't want to pay Bryce Huff and we didn't want to pay Hassan. That's my understanding. But we got a better compensation package by doing this with the Jets than we did if we just let them walk.
All right,
yeah, you got one more pick than what you would have.
Yeah.
And a higher one at that. According, you see what I'm saying? You said 4th rounder, right?
Yeah, if he'd have just walked.
4th round. Yeah.
At best.
Depending on how big a contract he signed. That's the bottom line.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
Well, see, and that's the thing. We got to re-sign Devontae. You saw we just locked up Jordan the other day. We got Landon Dickerson done. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It's looking like right now the succession plan is starting to come together. You see what I'm saying? I told y'all, us losing Jason Kelce, okay, we started that succession plan 2 years ago with Cam Jurgens.
I tell you what, that sounds good on paper, but when you can get rid of trust me, we know losing Travis Frederick was a major hole in that offensive line.
I'm not no, Mark. I am not discounting that. What I am saying is at least there was a plan. At least they did something. They didn't just stand back and just let the stuff happen to us.
In Dallas's defense on Travis Frederick, they had no clue this was coming.
Yeah.
Dallas had no clue.
Yeah, but I don't think that I'm not really concerned about the center. I think the guy that we're going to bring in that's going to replace Badish, I think he's going to do good for us. I really do. I just got this gut feeling he's going to end up being better.
Who was it?
Hoffman.
Who was
Brock
what?
Hoffman.
Hoffman's right now. Hoffman's scheduled to be the center.
Yeah, but I think he'll do good though.
I love when he says he's sending you a care package, Leo. Okay.
Say what?
I love when he said he's sending you a care package. Okay.
My man.
Or maybe Leo should be sending you one.
My man.
All right, we've been in overtime here.
You gonna get a FedEx package in the morning, dog.
Oh
my man.
All right, well, we got to get ready to get up out of here, good people.
Send it to the red brick house. I'll come pick it up from over there.
Okay. All right, well, good people, we got to get ready to get out of here and stuff. Final words.
We're going to be a lot better than you think we are. You know what I'm saying? Kellen Moore's going to make y'all look bad.
Okay.
I'm going to laugh at you when they finish the low 500.
I'm gonna laugh when you guys can't run the football this year.
Hey, Mark.
All I can say is we just got to see what
Hey,
happens.
Aisha, how you doing?
Congratulations on your trophy.
Thank you. I appreciate it. People are
Mark,
trying to make me feel like I'm
congrats on the
somebody,
trophy.
man. On the award, the plaque. Yeah.
On the award, yeah.
Thank you.
Been winners, Travis,
It
and
is
you don't
Madison
have to-
Channel.
And the winner for the newest 100,000 member club.
Just lets me know I got a lot more work to
Virginia.
do. All right. So, final words, everybody.
Just be careful, guys, this week. Love you all.
Yeah, man.
God
Well, yeah,
bless.
like you said,
Make sure you watch the eclipse.
don't
you have
stare
your
at the
glasses
sun.
Hey,
Okay.
Mark.
Yes, ma'am.
Mark,
I don't know where you guys are, but
hey, Mark, did you feel any earthquakes this week?
I did not feel it. It didn't make it all the way down my way.
Yeah, I got it. I got it real bad. I live in Trenton, New Jersey, so I'm not far from where the epicenter was.
Mm-hmm.
And
Let me clue you in on something. That earthquake was nothing compared to what we had a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
did you see that one in Japan? Or what was that?
Let me say this.
Japan?
Let me take.
No, we had that shook way over here.
Let me say this. Let me say this to you guys. So, you guys know, like, this is a very densely populated area, right?
Oh yeah.
Mark, I'm sure you'll be able to appreciate this, but back in 2011, it was an earthquake just like this, right?
Yeah, in Virginia.
And here too.
Yeah.
In the years since, right? A lot of the homes that were from the colonial days, all of a sudden, especially during bad rainstorms, they just collapsed. They just crumbled. And so we actually had a woman here who actually dove onto her 16-year-old daughter to save her, and she died because the foundation of the home
crumbled.
It never got right from the last earthquake. Yeah, and that's what's happening now. And for the last 3-4 days, we have been getting drenched by nothing but rain after rain after rain after rain. And so you take that, couple it with, what's going on here, like a lot of these old homes from the 1700s and the 1800s that are still around have been collapsing. There's a bridge that goes up to Princeton that runs near the governor's office. I mean, the governor's mansion. It's called Drumthwacket. That bridge is the stone. It was a stone bridge. It's what the colonials used to cross over to come down into Trenton when Washington was doing his thing here too. So there's a lot of this stuff that these little tremors and stuff like that, although they may not be severe,
they make a difference
because we have so many old homes. It's actually detrimental.
Well, that one in 2011 closed the Washington Monument for like 3 years. And the Washington Cathedral, they had so much damage done to the top
what happened to the bridge in Baltimore?
Yeah.
And I think we all are not going to feel that we're all, at some point or another, all of us are going to feel that too, because that port has been shut down. There's nothing coming through.
Yeah, well, they've got one shallower lane actually opened up right now, and they're thinking by the end of May they're actually going to have the whole port open. No bridge, but they'll be able to get traffic in there. So they think they're going to have a second channel that'll be opened up, they think, by the end of next week. So they're busting ass. The Corps of Engineers, shout out to them.
Well, if you actually go down, like particularly the New Jersey shoreline, you actually can see the tankers, Troy. You can see them lined up behind each other here.
Yeah,
they had to reroute everything.
Yeah.
Oh, that.
Well, all right, good people. I appreciate everybody being here and chatting and stuff. Better days are ahead. We'll have something to look forward to. We'll have OTAs that start out.
I know Eastside Harold was happy.
Oh, screw Eastside Harold. Okay. Screw Eastside. I don't want to hear it, man.
Hold on, real quick. Wait, Mark.
Yes.
Mark.
What?
Okay, so real quick, I gotta ask this, and I know you probably went over this, but I need to know for my own benefit. Watching how everything unfolded and everything, to me it feels like there's a very real possibility that your little thing with Stefan might actually go down. It just may take
but not until next year.
Yeah, he'll be a free agent next year.
But Troy, ain't that like the time frame that covered Mark's theories, right?
I said I said before he leaves the NFL, he'll be there.
They'll probably keep Stephon Diggs and re-sign him to a contract that's more team friendly for him. It's probably what they're going to do.
Leo.
Well, they redid his contract, but he's a free agent at the end of the year.
Saying you talk too much.
Oh, I don't care what anybody in the chat says. They're not here.
All right, yo, I gotta jump off here.
Yeah, I gotta go. I gotta go, guys.
Take care, Loyal.
All right, good people. I appreciate everybody in here, even Leo.
Take care, guys.
And appreciate everybody watching in the chat. And have a good weekend. Be safe out there, and don't look directly into the sunlight. I'm Mark Holmes,
absolutely.
And I appreciate
Mark, have a good one. You guys take care.
Never heard of Mark Holmes. I have no idea who Mark Holmes is. Okay?
And he is not an Eagles fan.
That's right. Xander just said it. Do you think Mark Holmes, the son of John Holmes, has ever had Stephen Jones on 4 times on his show?
Yeah.
Who in the world is Mark Holmes? Will somebody please tell me?
He's lying.
Here, and so before we start this video, I gotta get this mother humping thing out of the way.
My phone's my daddy.
Mark Holmes.